alive.
The execution damage just not there for Chovy. A lot of summoners burn. And time still available for Gen G, but you have to feel like that there's not much left. BLG with the Baron. See the game-ending play in their eyes. An incredible journey for this team. The organization's first World Championship, but been looking to return to the finals.
And an organization that has defied expectations.
The
as
TP
comes in behind. Chovy looking for something. Delay already caught out by Bin. He's going to have to dash away on going in with the Abyssal Voyage. Chovy looking for that flank position, but the Equalizer coming down, and once again doesn't quite get him into the wall. Elk gobbled up as On is going to spit him out, and the tower's already gone down. Dawning Shadow out as Peanut balls everyone on Gen G is so low. Elk's still full HP pretty much as he heals up with a Piercing Dark. And Gen G just cannot find the pick they're looking for.
That's going to be 2 inhibitors down now, and BLG, they might try and look for the end.
And everything invested by Gen G. No ult on Delight, not on Pays either. Yagao still has the Shockwave to send a shock through the crowd here in Busan. Pays low again, rooted up. The Shockwave just short. The stopwatch from Pays buys a second, but Shun still has the GA. Chovy trying to clear out the minions. At the Gnar back from Doran once again.
GA.
But On just tanks for days. GA coming out from Shun, and now it's all on Chovy. It's all on Pays. And we were told Busan was the church of Chovy, but what's a god to 5 non-believers? BLG will face Weibo in semis.
It might have not gone in the same manner as it did at MSI, but it's BLG that walks away the victors. Nonetheless, they reverse the momentum. They don't let Gen G get the reverse sweep. And they will be facing Weibo in the semifinals.
It has not been clean, it has not been easy, but BLG have consistently found a way. They were pushed to the brink in Swiss stage. They were pushed to the brink in this quarterfinal. And now it will be an all LPL semi-final. LPL will be guaranteed a spot in the final of this year's World Championship as we say goodbye to Gen G.
And once again for Gen G, so close yet so far, falling at the final hurdle.
It's the third time in a row that Gen G is unable to cash in on their expectations as the first seed of the LCK. They almost brought it back, but almost not gonna get you anything.
Frustration on the side of the Gen G fans and the Gen G players. They wanted to change the narrative. They wanted to return to the semifinals. But BLG had a different story in mind.
BLG just Gen G's boogeyman. Did it at MSI, now have done it once again here for the LCK fans. You do still have T1, you still have KT in terms of representation for your region, but LPL are incredibly strong right now with both Weibo and BLG making it their way to that semi-final. I think it would take a brave man to look past JDG, at least on the other side of the bracket. We are just building time, waiting, in fact, for an on-stage interview.
I mean, you make a great point, though. Is this the year where the LPL completely dominates, right?
First time they got 4 teams into quarterfinals, it could be the first time they get 4 teams into the semifinals as well.
I mean, that will be the first time in world history if we get 4 teams from the same region in the semifinals. Yeah. And LPL would clearly cement themselves as the strongest region. Of course, we will be seeing JDG versus KT tomorrow. But, whew, what a series, gentlemen. Absolute pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Both teams showed us some incredible team fighting, some incredible plays. But it was BLG that ended up coming out on top. Sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
It's tough.
You know, Gen G struggles continue. At least the series was worthy of the quarterfinal. That's what I tell myself, which actually I learned from you guys, right? That's tough. Oh, yeah. I think that for Gen G again, you know, from an LCK's perspective, it's not surprising, even though they were the clear favorites coming into the day, given what has happened. And I think in particular, Doran and Peanut are going to feel really rough about the performance that they have been putting in internationally, specifically over the last year and a half.
I mean, they're going to feel especially frustrated because the drafts in the first 2 games, like, so many question marks surrounding the availability of things like Desire, the amount of freedom that BLG was given. It did feel like that they just kind of ran the series, and it resulted in heartbreak for many of the Gen G fans and the Gen G players. We will, of course, see the organization next year. We'll see what they can do on the international stage, but many question marks and many frustrations on the side of Gen G as BLG continue what has been an incredible year for the organization, especially when you look at so many of the players that last year, if you'd said that person's going to be in the semifinals Worlds next year, you'd be like, no, they're not.
and what I really appreciate about the way that BLG was able to win today is that it actually wasn't the Bin show. I think Bin had a couple of great moments, but like, to me, the combination of Shun and Elk,
truly incredible.
It really was. Let's send it down to the stage where we're ready with Bin for the Verizon post-game interview with translation provided by Wendy.
2023 월드 챔피언십 노가웃 스테이지 8강 두 번째 경기 젠지 대 BLG의 대결. BLG가 승리하면서 4강에 진출했습니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
So congratulations.
네, 빈 선수와 인터뷰 나눠보겠습니다. 네, 빈 선수 1, 2세트 모두 30분이 채 되기도 전에 젠지의 넥서스를 파괴했지만 3, 4세트는 쉽진 않았습니다. 오늘 승리의 원천이 뭐라고 생각하시나요?
So first of all, congratulations on qualifying to the semi. You were able to end up the game in both game 1 and 2 in 30 minutes, but a hard time for the game 3 and 4. So what's the key of winning the series? So maybe in the last few rounds we didn't give up because they're so close to the reverse sweep, but we just calmed down and travel bus, and after that we were able to get the win.
너무 하고 싶지 않아가지고 그래서 마지막으로 버텼습니다. 네, 마지막까지 게임에 집중해 주신 것 같습니다. 2세트 빈 선수가 개인 통산 처음으로 럼블을 선택을 했습니다. 어떤 과정에서 준비된 픽인지 궁금합니다.
And also, you have picked Rumble. It feels like this is your first time we can see your Rumble. So what's your thoughts during the ban pick phase? So I was a bit worried about my Rumble because I haven't played the champion on stage. So I'm a bit worried whether I can play it or not. But I just gave it like a try. And also in the 5th game, it feels like it's maybe a very hard situation for us, but we just have enough confidence in my Rumble, try to trust my Rumble and trust my teammates trust us.
그렇게 결정했습니다. 본인을 믿었기에도 멋진 럼블 플레이가 나왔던 것 같습니다. 마지막 세트답게 5세트는 치열했는데요. 언제 승리를 확신하셨을까요?
And also, we have played the game like for the full set, and definitely the very fierce back and forth game 5. So at which moment you thought like, okay, we can just get a win? The last moment after we have breaking the opponent's nexus.
이제 4강을 앞두고 있습니다. 웨이보 게이밍과 함께 LPL 두 팀이 올라간.
And now you qualify to the semifinals. You are going to face against another LPL team, WBG. So what's your thoughts towards the semifinal? So all the teams that be able to qualify to the semifinals, they definitely be super strong teams. And I hope like the 2 LPL teams, WBG and us, 2 of us, the 2 teams, we can really show you guys a very amazing series, amazing matches.
오늘도 어렵게 이겼는데 4강에서도 어렵게 이길 거라고 생각하지만 그래도 재미있는 경기로 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 네, 재미있는 경기 저희도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
And also we are looking forward to the very interesting best of 5.
4강에서 만나게 됩니다. 4강을 향한 각오한 말씀 들어볼게요.
And now what are thoughts? What's the determination of the semi-final matches? First of all, to show you guys a very amazing series, and after that, got a win for the semi-finals.
네, BLG의 또 경기력 응원해 보도록 하겠습니다. 4강 진출 축하드리고요. 지금까지 빈 선수와
And we're going
인터뷰
to support you guys as well. And congratulations again. That's the end of the Bin's interview.
awesome to hear from Bin victorious in the end, even though it took a little bit longer than he thought it would, because he showed us a 3-0, and then they lost the 2 games after winning them. But in the end, it's so hard to stave off a reverse sweep. I think that's super impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to credit this BLG team for their mental, but I think here, like, it kind of reminds me of MSI, right? Where, like, they are constantly doubted. I doubted them. I can call myself out and own my losses because their play in the Swiss stage was really, really shaky. Back at MSI, their play in the play-in stage was shaky compared to what we would have wanted from them. And to come out here, I mean, the Bin Rumble was such a treat. Like, it was a surprise, but it was great. And I don't know, this BLG team is really something special. They are so fun to watch. Watching them go up against Weibo is going to be amazing.
I mean, I was kind of terrified the entire time for BLG. As you say, the Bin was kind of cool to see, like, bringing out that Rumble. But then, like, Elk bringing out the Senna was not something that I expected to see at all. I know, Kobe, you were looking up some of the stats for it. Like, I think that BLG, you could see, like, this was a team that was very scared in the early stages. They weren't going for early Rift Heralds. They weren't trying to play for big advantages. They were taking this game incredibly slowly.
Yeah, when I saw Elk lock in Senna, I was like, that's not exactly what I expect from Elk. And he had only 2 wins out of 6, and neither of them were actually in LPL. They were both in Demacia Cup. But he played it extremely well all series long, in fact, from Elk. Masterful play from him. Man, this team, though, I was very worried for you, Gao. There were a lot of moments where we're getting some Chovy gaps starting to show up. Yeah. But this team solidified, and you could see how much it meant to them when they finally were able to complete this.
Absolutely, and they like fly under the radar, but when you look at their year, you know, it was an upstart moment, the fact that they made that run that they did in spring. Then they come to MSI, everyone underrates them, they 3-0 Gen.G, yeah, they lose to JDG in the finals, but whatever. Then they are able to continue developing, and I think, you know, we haven't seen them for a long time, and then we saw them in Swiss, and we got a little bit disappointed, but they keep building and they keep pushing.
I think for an organization such as BLG as well, it's massive. When you look back to 2020, this was an organization that was coming in at the peak. They looked great in 2019. 2020 went absolutely abysmally as they lost Meteor. And then it kind of felt like they were still struggling to get pieces, trying to find the successes, latch on to people like Uzi that they brought back to find that moment. But now they've actually found it with these pieces that I think a lot of people would have overlooked, not expecting to come together in a manner like this to take on, I mean, literally the world at this stage.
Yeah, and it was hard for us to decide who may be the player of the series. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about it later, but first he's standing by with more Elk in the Verizon post-game interview. Oopsie.
Thank you so much, Sharks. BLG advances once again defeating Gen.G, but this time in the World Championship, and this time in a much closer series. Elk, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on taking them down. What made it more difficult than last time?
首先，恭喜你们再一次在舞台上击败，在场 BO5之中击败 GNG 呢。这一次是在世界赛的舞台上，可能和上一次 MSI 的交手相比，这一次好像稍微艰难一点。你觉得为什么这一次可能和上次相比会有一点难度呢？
首先是因为我觉得每个队伍都会就变得更厉害吧。然后我们这一次在世界舞台上，根记也是一名非常厉害的队伍。然后我觉得是一个夺冠热门吧。然后这一次和他们打满，其实我觉得两边队伍在 BP 还有在游戏内容其实都打得非常的好，然后打得非常的焦灼，然后所以两边都是就打满了5局吧。
And definitely, I must say, like all teams, we just got some growth, and also we just become stronger in this tournament. And I believe for this World Championship, definitely GNG is a super strong opponent, and I believe GNG is one of the favorites for the tournaments as well. And also, I feel like maybe for today's game, both of us, we just give the very great ban pick phase, the draft, and also for the in-game contents, all great. So because of that, the game looks quite back and forth. And after that, we got the full set of Fast 05.
Bean was on stage just saying that before the last game, you guys were calm and collected, into the right mindset, and we saw the coach cameras there with your coach Tabe being really passionate as he always is. I want you to tell me what was he telling you? What kind of advice did he give you before going into this game 5?
其实刚才在舞台上采访斌哥也有提到说，可能你们在最后的几局开始之前，他们是有尽可能的让大家一起稳住心态，而且我们也看到，其实塔比教练也在最后一局开始之前有给你们很好的一些建议，而且一直是一种非常热情的一种方式。所以说，能不能和我们分享一下，可能塔比教练有和你们分享一些什么样的建议，然后能够让你们打起精神，好好赢下比赛呢？
其实，在第5局开始之前，因为我们已经被让最2了嘛，然后。其实，在第5局决胜局，其实更多的是考验我们选手的就心态吧。然后塔比还有我们后面的教练组，就是更多的是和我们说，让我们心态别受影响，然后好好去对战第5局吧。然后他也说，就是相信他们的 BP 吧，对。
So, because before the 5th game, the opponent's team, they were able to gather both game 3 and 4. So it feels like maybe coming into the last game, the mentality is the key, and also this is the test for the team as well. So our coaching staff just told us you need to really keep a very calm mentality, a very good mindset, and also coming into best of 5 and coming into the last set, they also told us just trust our BP. And after that, yeah, that's all.
And you did, and took it in the end. But I think throughout the series, Elk, you are the best player. We elected you as the best player of the series. Tell me about the confidence that allowed you to play like this, because it all came down to 2v3s on the bot lane, a lot of dives that you guys executed perfectly. Tell me about your play today.
那其实他们可能觉得会把你选做这个 BO5当中最精彩的那名选手，因为其实感觉你今天真的打出了自信，打出了风采，有很多的2v3，有很多的下路的越塔，有非常非常多的操作，一次次的击杀对手。所以说也想问一下你的这种自信，你怎么样去来评价自己今天的整体的这种表现呢？是什么能够给你如此大的自信，发挥出如此精彩的表现？
首先我觉得我们整个队伍其实5名选手，我觉得在今天的比赛都发挥得非常好吧。然后，而且我觉得我们5名选手一路能走到这里，然后我们的个人实力都是非常的顶尖的。然后我们在舞台上面其实也能相互兜底，所以说我觉得我打得好，不管是我们哪名选手打得好，都是整个团队的就是贡献吧。对。
And I must say, I like to give credits to all my other teammates as well, because we feels like all 5 of us, 5 players in BLG, all of us are really good players. We have the very good mechanics, and also we can carry the team together for the final victory. So I must say, whether or who can be the key player for the best of 5, I just feels like all the other teammates concentrate a lot to this victory as well. So I like to give the round of applause to all my teammates as well.
Definitely this amazing team play that's carrying you guys to the next round, semifinals against Weibo Gaming. What should we be looking forward to when it comes to BLG?
那其实你们的团队协作也把你们送上了半决赛的一个舞台，在半决赛要再次的面对上 WBG， 所以说你觉得可能来到半决赛，我们能从你们这里期待到什么呢？有什么想法？
首先我觉得能在半决赛遇到 LPL 的队伍是一件非常开心的事吧。然后在微博季，其实因为我们在联赛中也和他们交过很多手嘛，然后就在下一场半决赛，我觉得就我们两边队伍就希望发挥出很好的实力，然后展现出一场比较好看的比赛吧。
First of all, I'd like to say, like, facing against another LPL team in the semifinals, I'm super happy and excited about this part. And we have faced against each other a couple of times in LPL previously. So I want to say we will try our best to show you guys the very exciting best of 5.
The LPL looking like the strongest region we have so far in the World Championship. Wendy, thank you so much for the translation. Elk, Sheshe, thank you for the interview. And Shocks, over to you in cool down.
Thank you so much. That's 2 out of 4 so far. Where we look at BLG's reaction cam.
I have no doubt that, as Elk said, we will see a very exciting semifinal between them and Weibo. Yeah. You like you said though, you can tell how much.
Who had that on their bingo cards?
Do you remember at MSI, Tabe running on stage too?
Yes.
He even ran onto the wrong side of the stage first.
I think he got fined.
Well, he didn't break the camera here, so no fine this time around.
He's good.
He didn't. And also he was name dropped, right? Or the coaching staff, rather, was name dropped. Just stay calm. You got this. Upper player of the series, I spoiled it already, but it was Elk, and it was a fierce discussion because we were talking about On as well.
Yeah,
And Shun.
And
Bin.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Everybody but you guys.
everybody but Toothpaste. Sorry. I think the big difference maker here in this series, though, was Bin and, oh my gosh, Elk and On stepping up in bot lane plays like this, right? Like, to have this Xayah performance coming out of Elk, to have them be able to do that 2v3 outplay, they performed so consistently well, even in the games that they lost. Obviously, it was really difficult for Elk to play that game in the Ashe game, but even then, he performed really well. It was a great series from him, and something that I definitely was not expecting from this bot lane, given their performance at this tournament thus far.
And I think that's the reason why it was so hard to try and separate Elk and On, because it was a two-man performance in that bot lane the entire time, to step up against Pace, step up against the Light, and every time it felt like we were praising Elk, it was like On standing right there beside them. Even in that last game with the Senatam Kench, they had these big moments, and the healing that was coming through was absolutely insane.
I know it all along. Elk and Bin 2v8.
True.
They definitely had a lot of help, especially from Shun and On.
Yeah. Let's say goodbye also to Gen G. I mean, it was such a crazy victory for BLG, but this is LCK's first seed, and this is unfortunately for Gen G, a story we've seen a few times, and I can see the blame on social media. It's already going, but you know, you lose as a team and you win as a team, unfortunately, and it wasn't enough. It's just so heartbreaking for them, but it comes down to this, right? They don't make it to those final hurdles at a World Championship, at an MSI. What was it today?
Yeah, I mean, this was an absolutely crushing defeat for them, right? Compared to expectations. Like, we were thinking it'd be them coming out of the bracket, it'd be JD Gaming coming out of the bracket, and then they would face each other in finals. Even though that rarely happens, to be the LCK 1 seed and fall out this early is, you know, it is a crushing loss, unfortunately.
Definitely in a game 5 where you're so close to getting that reverse sweep. Maybe a harbinger of what is to come with the LPL in the semifinals.
They already, you know, had all 4 here in quarterfinals, and now we're guaranteed one in finals already.
Yep.
With one side of the matchup. It's up to KT now and T1.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys, one of BLG or Weibo is going to be in the final of
That's
Worlds
insane.
2023.
You know, the funniest timeline is definitely another matchup of BLG and JDG.
I don't want that. I don't want to see that anymore.
I don't think that's funny.
What is it? Peishong is the center of the League of Legends universe. It's where
I
Knight and Yagao are from.
sad for the pick'ems because there's 0 perfect pick'ems left because the 2 last ones picked Gen G, and only 5.5% of everyone picked BLG to win today. And I think that's a good reminder. Were you one of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kobe was one of them.
I think Jat also.
Yeah, that's a good reminder of Worlds never goes the way you think it's gonna go. Never.
No.
I mean, DRX proved that last year, right?
Yeah.
And now we're looking
Why
down
are we
the barrel
still
of
not
another
believing?
one.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think to say, though, that you expect a BLG to take this, or even to have a BLG Weibo, I know, but it's like, out of the grand scheme of things, it feels incredible to see that BLG have actually managed to take what has been such a difficult couple of years and now coming into 2023 to really make it their own.
Man, and I always feel so much for the losing teams here. You know, yesterday, Energy, of course. Today, the Gen G guys. You talked about it so much, but Chovy and Peanut especially, so long to just really get there, and you could see the pain on their faces. Your entire year is built into this, and then on one night,
it's all over, indeed. Don't forget to do your pick'ems. JDG versus KT. That is tomorrow. What should we pick, Emily?
Don't pick KT.
Should you get excited for
No.
It's gonna be difficult.
Don't worry, I didn't pick them.
Watch this woman get her heart broken live
again
tomorrow.
Hey, I know maybe if you've gotten your heart broken or put together again, we can do it all again tomorrow because we have another LCK versus LPL battle. KT Rolster is up versus JDG, and it's going to be a banger. Hopefully it was today, so get some sleep or stay up. I don't care. Have fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
Only cleanse on Pays as well. On can look for that hand handshake. Delight standing in front. There's the ignite. Pays cleanses with a flash follow from Shun means the pays. Time and the Nut Gods looking for something. As they go forward, Bin has to flash away. Doran has a flash follow. Counter-strike coming out and Bin is locked up and sent packing by Genji.
And Peanut is pathing. This game has been immaculate.
Devour available for Delight. Pays dodges the Berserk for the hostile takeover. Already finds one. And Bin is done with this game. And Genji played to this tune in game one. The bailout coming out and all will be brought back. And now Delight is next on the menu and Elk can turn it around. Double buff for him. It's going to be two, but a great flash from Delight. Got escape. Equalizer down and Dorman's burning. Bin trying to turn it around and Dorman will fall first and Peanut's buried next to his brother as BLG's strike are not enough to keep him alive as Elk flashes forward. Pays is about to meet his maker as Elk sends him into the dirt.
Very good job, Flash.
Delight here for the flat. No! Oh, the anti-synergy, it's all over the place. Oh, Genji were just not on the same page. They weren't even reading from the same hymnal. Jovi going in with the Soul Unbound, pulled back with the shockwave, but he can dash away. The face seal blocked, though, with the Cataclysm. And Chovy will fall every time. And Elk still standing like he's ever been for BLG. Elk still survives, but Doran finally comes to life. A brief delay last year at Worlds. Peanut stepping forward here as the engage comes in from BLG and Peanut's locked up. Yagao pops Blossoms.
The wave clear. Oh!
Magnustorm flash engaged, the equalizer down as one of the TP. Genji have pulled the trigger and they're looking to burst out Elk. Chovy dashing around and Elk will fall. It's hunting season. The perfect execution for BLG may be too much. Chovy buys a second, but he just can't buy the win. But on just 10 days, GA coming out from Shun, and now it's all on Chovy. It's all on Pays. And we were told Busan was the church of Chovy. What's a god to 5 non-believers? BLG will face Weibo in semis.